Testing, testing, testing.
Sharp.
Split.
Oh,
I
baby,
guess that also works as a
sync. Oh, yeah.
You got what I need. And you say he's just a friend. And you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you.
Ipanema is lovely.
You got what I need.
Ipanema goes walking.
You say he's just a friend. And you say he's just a friend.
Take it away, Kai.
Alright, so I don't remember how this goes. Does she start pouring first?
Yeah, she starts pouring and then the starts playing.
Alright, so okay.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Yeah, I think my liver's failing. That actually hurts. Oh well. The show must go on,
The
as they
show
say.
must go
Oh,
on.
what's that show? Well, everyone, 3, 2, 1. We're the Spectruminal Trinity!
Why did you say why would you ruin it like that?
Because I kind of wanted to.
Okay,
I'm an agent
sorry.
of chaos. What can I say? I am the Joker.
It's
Yes.
our agent of chaos too.
Oh yeah, you want to get into that?
Right away?
Go. Put the fucking mic to your mouth and then talk about
shit.
it. So we had a conversation.
And we have so very smartly discerned that all of us who are friends in our little group, we're the same person in a different font.
And now, hold on, before
That's
we
fair.
get into this confused the fuck out of me. Because I was immediately like, what the fuck do you mean we're different fonts? And then you pointed me to Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you could please elaborate
I think that was just like the easiest way for me to explain it, because it's like...
explain it to the audience as well.
Okay, I'm assuming most of you know what we're the same person in a different font means. I think Gavin's just an old twat.
We
That
might
might
have
be-
other old twats watching. Shout out to you.
You fucking idiot.
You know,
Alright.
So like...
old twat.
The way that I described it to Gavin oh so dearly is Yu-Gi-Oh! How, you know, like, technically there's split personality going on in Yugi. Because, you know, Yugi is Yugi Mamamoto, then he has the fucking Millennium Puzzle, right? That Millennium Puzzle contains the spirit of Yami, who is living inside fucking Yugi like a parasite, like a fucking parasite. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But, like, when he transforms into Yami during, like, the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Matches, it's like, he's the same person, but a little different. Like, they notice the energy change around him. It's like that.
What do they see him as?
They still see him as Yugi.
But that's not what I always thought he grew as a man also.
No. They just wanted
I
to...
was also very confused by this. Because I've never really sat down and watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Right?
We did.
Cannot.
You guys did, and that was the first time I was
that a
like,
year ago?
what the fuck?
That was a year ago. That was, actually... That was pretty recent.
Oh, hey.
A year ago feels pretty oh yeah. We're gonna get into the tea later, okay? We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh!
I remembered
Did you
my
put
honey.
in our cups?
Yes.
Okay.
We should take a sip,
I always
though.
put honey in your cups.
Wonderful. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm like a fucking mom, man.
This is us eating before praying, basically. Now save your opinions for what the tea is later.
I was say you might have a lot of honey because I haven't properly gauged the honey rating on these cups.
I just like to think you only put honey in my cup.
I put tea in your cup.
I know. I just like to think that I thought I was gonna get tea, but then it's just like a completely different consistency, and it's just like.
Yeah, I gotta mix yours up because you're gonna fuck it up again.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Continue with what you were saying, though.
About fonts and Yu-Gi-Oh!
And how we're all the same person, but a different font.
Oh yeah, that was the original conversation. I got really into the
Well,
Yu-Gi-Oh
well, I
lore.
kind of want to continue the Yu-Gi-Oh! Train of thought. 'Cause I'm more interested in that right now, honestly. What does this motherfucker look like when he's battling?
He just looks like Yugi. They wanted, like, you know, animators, they gotta show an obvious change in the person, so you know this personality is switching, but they can't. It's for kids.
And it's also to make him look cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more marketable that way.
And his voice? What's with his voice?
That's just
It's
how.
another indicator.
That's the soul. That's the soul
That's the
speaking
soul.
in his head.
And Yugi is talking like regular Yugi.
Yes. But like his demeanor changes, so he's the same person, just a little bit different.
Doesn't
It's
Pharaoh
like-
get like different clothes? Like when he turns into adult Yugi, doesn't he have
It's
like
the
a
same
crop top on?
clothes.
So does he have? So he changes wardrobe.
No,
Okay.
he wears the same clothes all the time.
No,
It's just the
doesn't he
silhouette
wear-
changes.
Doesn't he wear something that eventually has like no sleeves and it's like?
That's
black?
when they go back in time.
They go back in time.
Yes.
What the fuck? But
This tea's
fonts.
interesting, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Why?
The first time I tried it, I was like, And I know we're not trying to we're talking on a different subject
I know,
now,
but why?
But I was like, I don't know if I like this. It's
I
kind of
think
like
it was just
plain.
too honey. Oh, did I not give you enough honey?
Well, and that's the thing. When I stirred it up and took another drink, it was much, much better.
Oh yeah.
By like a large margin.
A large margin.
Yeah, it was very bad for a second. I was not pleased with it at all.
Probably because it's just plain white tea.
Oh, so it's a white tea.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had herbal, red, red,
Red
and green
and black.
and black. Okay.
Fucking
Yu-Gi-Oh.
red tea was a 2-for-1.
Oh, okay.
No, the fonts. So what's with the name and the font? What's with the font then?
Oh yeah, back to no tea first. Remind me later.
Okay. What's
So-
this tea? Oh yeah, this is the part in the show where we do the tea ritual because we're a bunch of pussies who don't want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh.
We'll circle back, Gavin.
I'm gonna make sure we don't circle back. Look at me. We're not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh anymore.
Look at me,
Talk about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
I love Yugi. Yugi, be mine.
Yeah, what are you
Yami be
talking about?
mine.
Talking about Pokemon over there?
Yes.
What's your favorite generation?
My favorite generation. We should continue with the tea.
God, we're so stupid. But today,
It's a white tea.
white tea, yes, it is. Okay, I'm gonna lay down a little fact right here. Black tea, green tea, and white tea are the same plant.
Okay.
It's at different stages of growth for it. White tea is the newest buds, like it's the freshest, like just popped out buds,
Okay.
and they dry it immediately so that the oxidation process doesn't like bitter the tea out into a green tea.
Okay.
But
And then what's this
and they'll spoil.
what's this temperature range here?
Temperature range
What's
is
the name of the tea?
it's white tea.
It's just called white tea.
Yes, this is 100% pure white tea.
Oh. So this is 100% a base
Yes.
without any
Yes, that is why I brought.
added flavors.
Yes. That's why it's just
What makes a base a base?
the plant. It's
Just
the
the
same
plant.
plant and the oxidation process. But this is very similar to green tea because it requires a lower boiling temperature, but it doesn't steep for as long. It is 175 degrees to 180 Fahrenheit, not Celsius, dear God. But I've spoken a lot of my news already.
How does
Really?
that compare to the other teas
This
we've had?
is very mild.
Okay.
So it gets paired with a lot of other flavors like
Like
jazz.
strong flavors?
Yes, that or more floral flavors. This is jasmine. I brought it to pair with it after we finished off this round. Want to smell the jasmine?
It smells like jasmine.
Jasmine.
I was watching a Illuminati episode and they were talking about the Dybbuk box
Oh yeah.
and how that it would either smell like jasmine or cat piss. And that's when I learned cat piss was often associated with
The Jews.
No.
the devil.
Oh.
Jasmine's associated with the devil?
No, cat piss is.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
People think cats are just pure evil, dude.
Pure evil, but Egypt loved those guys.
Yeah, man. Don't circle back to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Don't?
Not right now.
Okay.
But the plant I spoke. When I spoke about the green tea, our first green tea, I talked about how it came from a pine tree. Well, a type of not carnivorous, evergreen tree. But it's all in different. I'm circling back to the stages of this tea.
I'm with you.
Yeah. This is the earliest stage of the buds. So it goes through the least amount of oxidation. So the caffeine level in it is also a little lower. I didn't get the exact number. I didn't think about it at the moment. But it's a lower caffeine milligrammage compared to green tea. So it's paired with a lot of different herbal teas to add just a little bit of caffeine if you like the flavor. And green tea is like the fresh green leaves, like after it like pops up and it just matures a little bit, the whole leaf, that's the green tea. And then after, they only go through a little bit of oxidation, and then black tea goes through the most oxidation, which is why it's already like a bitter flavor, like for a bitter base.
Okay.
And more heavy.
I'm trying to get all this.
So this is a really light tea.
Yes.
Because, is it the lightest tea?
Yes.
Okay. So white
The
in
lightest
general
tea
is
ever?
the lightest tea? The lightest tea base.
Yes, the lightest base,
How many
because
bases are there?
white, black, and green, and then there's like herbal that has like colors in it. Herbals is the
Colors?
outlier.
Gavin, were you not paying attention last episode?
I guess not. I haven't edited that episode yet.
Herbals are kind of like the outlier because they're from like the actual like flower of the plant.
Which is what makes them herbal. Is it's from the flower.
Because like hibiscus is a tea that is brewed. It's from the flower. But it's a red tea.
Okay.
And rooibos, or rooibos, whatever the fuck it is.
Rooibos?
There's rooibos. But
Rooibos.
that's a red tea, but it comes from a bush. So it's like that whole sprig.
The lemon square was delicious. Can I have some more tea?
That's what this is. I've been touching it, and I've been kind of scared of it.
Yes, it's a lemon
It's really
square.
sticky. If you don't want yours, I will eat it whole.
Well, now you make me question.
I want to focus on this part right now. Explain to me how you feel about this lemon square.
Well, I'm not usually a fan of lemon.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like whenever it's like I don't like lemon meringue pie.
I love it.
Never
That's
had
what
it.
this reminds me of.
I know, and I guess I don't hate it, but like it's the lemon that kills it for me. Whenever I taste the lemon, I'm just like I wish I was
That's the
having.
whole point.
It's all lemon. There's literally nothing
But it still
else.
tastes good. But I would just all I'm thinking is like, man, I really want this to taste like pumpkin pie, but then it doesn't.
Okay.
Like lemon meringue pie is never the thing I'm gonna search out, but it's the one that like gets made in my family gatherings, and I'm just like, I mean, I like pie. I just wish it was a better pie.
I need to make
Interesting.
you pumpkin pie again.
Please do.
Yeah, we'll split. We'll split it.
The
It'd be
pumpkin
delicious.
pie?
Yeah.
Why can't we just get our own pies?
No, we gotta split it 9 ways, so it can be an inconvenient amount.
9 ways?
Yeah.
You're splitting it then.
All right.
Or I can make pumpkin bread.
Make 3 loaves of pumpkin bread.
Oh my
No, I
God.
do a huge loaf. I put it in like a cake pan. I don't put it in bread pans.
Make 3 cake pans.
3 cake pan? I only have 2 cake pans.
I'll buy you another cake pan.
Okay, Pyrex, please.
You don't have to make them all at the same time.
I
No.
have 3 ovens.
Okay.
Well, she can.
But if
then.
you only have 2 pans, you can just make 2 and then make 1. It's not like we're Gordon
No,
Ramsay sitting there
It
like
sets in the pan though.
Yes, I serve it in the pan.
you serve it in the pan.
Yes.
You can't just like
No.
plop it out.
I'm not saran wrapping that bitch. That's a whole fucking like.
What?
It's a large amount, Gavin. It's a
That's
cake
like-
pan.
It's a fucking 13x9 cake pan.
I understand how much it is.
Do you?
Yes.
I don't-
13 by 9.
Inches, Gavin. Inches.
Inches. 13x9 inches.
I know.
Hey guys, can we get this off the podcast? But I really just gotta get this off my mind real quick. So I was thinking today, what would be the best way to start, like being a serial killer, right?
We can't leave this in.
No.
They're talking about your lighting fires and shit.
Well, no, and I was thinking this, right? Like, if you listen, because you'd have to send. If I were gonna become a serial killer, I'd have to send a message.
Do you want
I'm leaving this in.
Huh?
to try with sugar?
Yeah. So if I'm
Message.
trying to send a message, like the message I would want to convey, I assume this would take place after I have nothing in my life, because that's what would
You
push me
lose
to this
everything.
point. Yeah. And I was like,
let me just say one thing. We all think this, motherfuckers. Like, if you think we don't think of this, if you think this is something that's exclusive to us and we're crazy, you just haven't gotten there yet. All right.
I think never mind. I'm not gonna say that out loud.
like I'd have to send the message that no one is safe, because I want it to be so clear to everybody who thinks that they're above this social contract of like not being an asshole because of some like fucking prolific view of themselves that they think they could just be any type of way to anybody for any reason.
Yeah.
I would have to kill indiscriminately. So first you start, look at me, Gavin. First you start with random people. Maybe you just like knock a car off the road, cap the person in the car, and just fucking drive
Like
off.
Zodiac style. Literal. Oh my god.
And then from there, like, you gotta start targeting like celebrities, right?
Okay.
So you target
Which one do you go for?
Honestly, you have to go. I was thinking Keanu Reeves,
Lizzo?
and like,
Okay.
I was thinking like in my like.
Can't do Keanu Reeves.
In my court case, I'd be like, you know what, I really didn't want to kill Keanu, but it really drives home the idea that nobody is fucking safe.
If you killed Keanu, I'd have to kill you.
It would be okay. I would have already sent my message that no one's safe, Gavin.
Even Keanu.
Yeah, not even
I
fucking...
literally started this day listening to some Let's Players I fucking listened to, and they talked about Keanu and how he's such a good guy, and I went,
Yeah.
man, Keanu is a good guy. Didn't know at the end of the day I'd be talking about how he needed to defend his life.
Yeah, dude. Oh, and then, you know, you pick off a few fucking corrupt congressmen, because all of them are. So... excuse me.
Hot take.
And then you just pick a few more random people, you know, a few different ethnicities, because you have to be inclusive. Even though I would only really be wanting to target white people for some reason. I thought about this today. I was like, that's odd.
I don't want to kill all these people because they're white, but they are all white. So that means something.
That incense is so beautiful. It's burning so good.
And I was like, so I gotta send this message that, like, no one's safe, like, regardless of where you are. And then I would publicly admit to and surrender to the cops. Because if I publicly do that, most people are going to assume I'm not going to hang myself right away after I get fucking put in jail. So when they try to frame myself as a suicide because they don't want my message to get out and spread, they can't, because, you know, I'm going to make it very clear I want to go to court and get tried.
Oh my god.
And then I want a public case, right? You want a public case so that you can start inspiring these people to, like, think like
This
you.
is literal Son of Sam shit.
So now you're thinking, now I'm thinking, oh, well, why am I saying this case here, you know? Because I gotta send this message.
What's your message?
That nobody's safe, right? Nobody, there's
Why
safety,
is that your
there's
message?
safety nowhere. I assume this is after a breaking point. Like I said, I have nothing.
I know, but like, are you like, fuck the corporations?
You're breathing so much, take
like
it in the
Keanu
air.
against Cyberpunk. Are you Johnny Silverhand?
No. I don't think it's a well played. Gavin, I'm not gonna do this. I don't have the specifics on why.
I know.
Anyway, and then I'd admit to all of these murders, and they'd be like, "Whoa, that's crazy," and then I'd go to, like, jail or something.
Whoa, dude, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
I gotta put you in the cell now. Like, you just said that. It's not like I can just let you walk down the street. Like, come on, get in the cell.
I much prefer you do not keep that in, Gavin.
Why? That was such a great.
It's a lot for the human mind to digest.
People might think I'm unwell.
If they don't know we're unwell by watching this,
Yeah.
like, come on.
That's your own fault. Swear to God, that's on you.
Anyways, do you have any trivia about the tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Plenty, actually. The plant's name, the scientific name is Camellia sinensis. I probably butchered the fuck out of that. Don't worry about it.
Camellia sinensis.
But the benefits
So nice.
are very similar to green tea, with the properties to fight off certain types of cancer, like osteoporosis and all that.
Now, is it just a random thing that those two things rhymed? Or are
What?
those things connected?
Am I
You said
speaking in rhyme
you
again?
said osteoporosis and also sinensis. And I was like, those
Am
two things
am I speaking in rhyme again?
You're constantly speaking in rhyme, Haley. We've talked about this.
It does just happen.
You're gaslighting me.
Always. My name's not even Kyle.
I know.
Oh boy, it's Ryan.
It's Kyle. We all have been saying it wrong.
Kyle.
With an LN. An LN.
Kyle. Spelled K-I-L-N.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, it's supposed to turn that way to make an E.
It can.
My coworker
protect-
told me today about someone's name was Adasha, and it was A-A.
Are you real? What the fuck?
Dash.
Why?
Their name was A-A.
Stop.
It looks like a weird mask, dude.
Oh, weird mask.
Yeah, if you look at like the A and then the hyphen and the A, you have some eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Where are these cashews and banana chips?
Huh?
Where are these garnishes?
Flavors that pair well.
Yeah, but where are they? I need more.
Over there. You just want another lemon square. God damn it, I rhymed again.
You want these?
Yes, I'll come off camera for a second.
Put it back on couch.
Yeah. I have bread.
Alright, weird place to cut.
Jesus Christ. I don't know what I'm gonna cut in, but this is definitely going in.
No!
Listen, it won't be said, but Jesus Christ. That caught me off guard.
That's funny.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
You're going off the fucking rails for
I don't know if I've ever had that feeling before. When people get like when people talk about getting offended at Dave Chappelle, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never been shocked by a joke. At that moment, my heart sank.
Oh my god, and my mom asked me if I was proud of what I was doing today.
God,
I feel like I ascended.
I don't know if I'll
for a
ever forget
moment.
that.
Can I have some more tea?
Again?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's good. I mean, I enjoy it.
You were bitching the first half.
Exactly. That's why I was confused when it started tasting good. Initially, I was like, what the fuck? I don't blame you for the tea not tasting. I might not like it. Like,
No, I know.
Gavin's dying. Gavin's gone. Can I just get some more tea, please?
Give me a moment.
Can you guys be a little more professional? Are you kidding me right now?
You want to talk about professionalism? I'll pull out the fucking sweat on your ass. You want sugar or honey?
Honey, preferably. Thank you.
I didn't pay for it, so you're welcome. It's $14 for a big ass jug.
oh my god.
Gavin, are you okay?
I'm the best I've ever been.
Yeah.
I'm filled with such pure joy right now.
What a roller coaster.
Oh my god.
I feel like it's a lot of honey, but I feel like you'll
Oh,
like
it's
it.
fine. I'll drink
Yeah,
it.
I know.
Spectacular. Thank you.
Stir it.
I know.
My god.
So, tell me about this tea.
Where the fuck was I at?
Oh
It also helps with protecting your teeth from
yeah, how does that
bacteria.
help these things? Did you look into this yet?
Not in a chemical level, because then I'd start going on a science rant. Some of the history on the tea.
Yes. It's my favorite part.
It's not any interesting stories this time. It's just factual
Is this
stuff.
supposed to be furry?
Yes, it's a raspberry.
Oh, I thought you said, is this tea for furries?
Is it?
Also,
You be the judge.
there are some Chinese pronunciations in here that I'm probably going to butcher. I apologize in advance. I'm trying my hardest.
If you were really sorry, you would have said it correctly
I'm
the
gonna
first
eat-
time.
I don't want to hear it from you.
I'm gonna ADR in horrible line reads.
But the tea we know now, like today, the one we're drinking currently, was first commercially produced in the 1700s.
I don't know if you know offhand, but do you know what the oldest base is? Like, what was the first? Because what was the first one we tried, right? Technically,
We had black tea.
because that was like the first tea ever brewed in quotes.
Because they burnt the shit out of it.
Dude, yeah, probably. That's what I was say. I don't remember offhand. It was probably that, at least for my best educated guess, because I feel like they don't know the full process. They're experimenting. So
And
you're
what base was that?
black tea.
Okay, so black was first.
I believe so.
Do you know the rest of the timeline offhand?
Actually, I think it's in the order we went, ironically.
Oh, so white came last.
Yeah.
'Cause they were like,
Red was kind of an outlier, so red is not really in this equation. I'm assuming that's later when they discovered, oh, you can brew herbs that aren't poisonous.
so many deaths.
Dude, probably, yeah.
People just eating plants. Not cooking them right.
That's how we learn.
So go on, tell us about this history.
It was first commercially produced in
1700s, right?
yeah, 1700s.
It's like, get to the new shit.
From the first ever white tea plants that were plant varieties, that are called Dabao and Duhao. Dahao? That's awful, I'm sorry. But the process for white tea is a very delicate one because they have to pluck it at the right time before it turns into the green tea, and then they almost immediately have to start drying the plant out to make it the white tea. Yes.
Oh, because if it oxidizes,
Yes.
it'll become a green tea.
Yes. And possibly a black tea. But usually they use more heat for that. That's why this tea was never really shipped out anywhere for the longest time until the 1700s. Because they were afraid of it spoiling going overseas. And it would ruin their product.
When did it start to ship?
1700s.
But wait, why is it a? Because if they just have, if they're shipping white tea, and it ages too long, isn't that just green tea? So they still have tea to sell.
It can go stale.
Okay.
I thought you were getting to the point of like these motherfuckers just drinking green tea back then. They didn't know what white tea was actually like. It's like how we
But it
have
can go
like
stale.
Okay.
it's like how we have the shitty McDonald's. People are like, "Nah, man, you didn't understand McDonald's in 1999."
I've never heard that.
You've never heard that?
No,
He's just talking about the play places because they don't have any anymore.
they do.
A
No,
few.
I'm talking about like I feel like there's a split off period that like older people will be like, "Yeah, but this is when fast food was actually good."
Oh yeah, when it was 5 cents.
That's true.
My grandpa was old enough for that.
Really?
My grandpa, the one over there.
My great grandparents are old enough for that.
What was that like?
I don't know.
What a weird time.
You get a hamburger and fries for $0.25.
Like 2 world wars have happened. Very recently to where you live right now.
Oh, and this took place in the Fujian province, which was an area of China. But many,
Like where it was processed primarily.
yes, that's where the plants grew.
Okay.
But many variations of the white tea is produced today. There's Bahao Juan, I think, or Juan, or something like that, which translates to the silver needle because the pine tree that it comes... Dude.
I know about the other thing. Sorry, go on.
But the needles that come off of the pine tree are a pure silver color.
Oh, really?
That's why it's called a silver white tea.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Where do those grow in that Chinese province that you were just talking about?
I think... I didn't check the exact areas of the variations.
Bao Juan? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Tea.
Okay.
Yes, one moment.
They are smaller cups.
I
They
know.
are much smaller cups.
I know. That's
They're really cool though.
why I usually use... Side note. When I drink tea, I drink a lot of tea. So I fill this all the way up, and I boil that, and I don't use these cups. I pour it all in a mason jar, and I drink that all.
You pour it in a mason jar.
Yes. Like a quart mason
That is
jar.
the most unholy thing I think I've ever heard.
Right?
How fucking dare you?
I drink a lot of
I think
tea.
you have a problem.
I drink a lot of tea. But I drink that whole quart, like, within the hour.
That is a lot of tea.
You know that idea we had of like people selling tea like drugs? Well, that's an addict.
Yeah.
Someone's like, I can't do the little cups anymore, man. I gotta go for the big gulp.
It's just so inconvenient, dude.
No, I mean, I get it. If
Yeah, I
you're
get
drinking
it.
that much tea, but like that's fucking wild.
Mason jar?
I gotta finish off the pot. I can't let it go to waste. I'm the only motherfucker that drinks tea in my house.
Oh.
And when I want tea, I want like a good glass of it, not like just a little serving.
I guess a glass of tea also kind of mystifies me.
Why?
Well, because I mean, this is what I'm accustomed to.
You're right. I've never had a glass of tea.
Do you want to experience the
No,
one pot for all?
I feel a lot like worse if it's in a glass.
Yeah. That doesn't feel... It's
We
like,
It
got
doesn't
it.
feel like we're honoring the tea.
it's like if I had coffee in a glass. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
We gotta do a hick day of tea.
Hip day?
you
hick.
have to find a tea that reflects that, of course.
Oh, there's several.
Yeah.
There's
Just get,
several.
like, candy
Literally just get Lipton tea.
Ooh, you hear that, you dumb hicks? You drink Limpton tea?
bar. You say limp dick tea.
I said
Limp
Limpton.
Biscuit.
Limpton.
Oh.
Sounds
Lipton.
like the missing train from like the one talking train, Thomas. Lipton, the tank engine. He's special.
Yeah, he's sponsored by a tea brand.
He can fly.
He only delivers tea.
Do you want more?
Limpton
Oh, that's good.
only delivers tea.
Yeah. It's actually just a brand deal.
LMI.
He just comes
Tea
into
biscuit
the show every episode and goes, I'm delivering Lipton tea, and then he drives away. And then it's just
Well, they have
the
like
story
a very
continues.
in-depth like cut to of the industrial factory that is where they produce it.
And there's little children
And
slaves.
yeah,
making the
and there's
tea.
like children slaves like loading like the tea onto him.
And I guess I load them into guns, like a machine gun. There's a kid with a turret that's full of fucking tea bags and tea seeds.
They start shooting at Thomas as they like drive away every time. Thomas was like, he just like kind of freaked out. He's like, well, guys, bye, Lipton.
Man,
I knew.
this is a ruckus right here. What am I gonna do, Henry? And then like there's cowboys running on Thomas, taking over. They shoot
You know?
they shoot the person driving the train.
I should have taken my notes today as a sign that today's episode was gonna be a rough one.
Rough. I loved this.
Yeah, what's rough about your notes?
There's another variation of white tea that they refer to as the monkey-picked white tea
Okay.
because they believe that the tea is picked by Buddhist-trained monkeys.
What?
That's awesome.
Yes.
Buddhist trained monkeys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Something Buddhists
to pick
do?
tea.
Yeah.
I never thought
And-
Buddhism came with like become a Pokemon.
The term monkey-picked has become it's a term.
slur?
No, not a slur. It's to denote the highest.
monkey trainer!
It's to denote that it is a high-quality tea. There's a common rating.
Oh, if
This is monkey pick.
If they
Yeah.
say a tea is monkey-picked, that is their highest
shit.
rating. Yeah, it's top
do
shelf
they have
shit.
different words for that?
Yes, they have their pronunciation.
What
This is
is
just
that?
You just want me to say it in their language.
Well, yeah, I think it's probably gonna sound much better than monkey picked.
Monkey pick's the best one, though. I'm gonna refer that to everything now. When I'm
Here,
looking at
I'll
best
look it up
quality.
real quick.
This is monkey.
I don't think I wrote it down.
This is a monkey picked steak.
Yeah, tell the story. Like, this steak was picked by monkeys in the Himalayan mountains and
He
brought
walked across
down.
the field listening to that Guts theme, and he just pointed to one of the cows, and then the ranchers heard him and took the cow along to meet its death.
The monkey butchered it himself.
The monkey did?
Yeah.
I imagine he's like looking over it like the Nazi in this boy in striped pajamas or whatever.
I like to think he picks 4 cows, and then he picks whatever steak he likes the most out of the 4 cows.
What do you mean?
That's what they did. That's how they started white tea.
They had 4 cows?
No, but they would...
Right?
Several farms
The monkey
would take...
commanded the humans?
Several farms would rake through, like, all of their fucking leaves to try and collect the best, most, like, appealing-looking ones to send to the emperor as a tea tax.
When the monkey was like...
No, not the monkey!
Well, you said monkey
I was
pick,
just about to
dude.
say, they sent cows to the fucking, like, tax payment?
No, their tea tax would be collecting... All the farmers would be collecting the finest fucking fruit of their
Anyway,
crop.
in this hypothetical scenario, the monkey picks 4 cows, and then they're all butchered on the farm. And then, for the monkey pick steak.
This one was
Yeah, and then he compares all the meat, like in that one butchering competition we watched. And
oh, it's like Gordon Ramsay sitting down at MasterChef, and he's going like, you see, I picked that cow because.
and then he
pattern.
picks it, and then he like hand delivers it because that's monkey picked.
But he can't speak, so he's like that entire segment's just shot like him like eyeing the food, and then
He
like,
knows like 3
picking it
sign
up.
language things. I don't know if that's
He
insensitive.
knows this. That's all.
Yeah, it's just like the 3.
Yeah. But it, like eventually, like he just like gets distracted by something, and he like runs off stage, and he's like fucking with a fly or whatever, and then he comes back, and he's like,
And then there's a shoe standing straight up, and like a kid hiding under a table.
yeah.
So you got it yet?
No.
I've been stalling for so long.
Stalling. I was just enriched in this like hypothetical.
We know, Kevin.
But yeah, 4 cows. 4 butchers
He
probably.
picks 4. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna spell it out for you. The first word, T-I. Second word, K-U-A-N. Last word, Y-I-N.
Taikwan Ying. I don't know.
Taekwon Yin.
Taekwon Yin. Let me see.
Let's get someone to help us pronunciate that.
Taekwon Yin.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Let's get Siri on the case.
Oh no, she's not gonna say it nice.
No, she's not. No.
It's gonna be very offensive.
And I'll repeat it exactly how she says it.
Oh boy.
Well.
Give me a damn minute.
Oh my God.
I'll cut to it.
Yeah, I guess. I was trying not to have to, but here we are. Cutting to it.
Taekwon
They're
Yin.
teaching me how to fucking pick it, not how to say it.
What do you mean how to pick it? You don't pick the monkey that
Yeah.
picks
No,
the...
how to
picker
pick
here,
out the
okay?
T. Like, pick out which one you want.
How to be the monkey picker.
How do I achieve monkey picker status?
T-Guan Yin.
Taekwon Yin.
The K is a G.
Taekwon Yin.
Taekwon Yin.
Tiguanman? Mm.
Tiguan?
I was saying it country like. Tiguan.
Taekwon Yin.
You sound really natural saying that.
I'm going to gut punch you.
Guys, she's Asian.
No, I'm not.
Gavin, you can't make claims like that without
Zoom
being
in on her
tested.
face right now. Whoop! Asian.
Please do that in post. Just
Another variety.
Like Smash Brothers, Asian.
Another
clip.
variety is the white peony tea.
peony.
Peony. It's a flower.
I play peony.
You like that one?
Yeah, that one was funny. I play the peony. But the flavor of this
Peony, are
tea
you okay?
is very...
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Christ.
Oh my god.
Ugh, I love this show.
Isn't it great? This is why we're a comedy podcast. Because we're really fucking funny.
The tea
I don't wanna
flavor
say that.
itself
I don't
is
wanna
very
say that.
light and airy again. So that's why it's similar to
Bleep
green
that,
tea.
please. It's such a good bit.
What?
You gotta bleep that like that because we're really fucking funny.
Okay, I'll believe that. Yeah.
Anyway, what about this tea? PT.
What?
You said something about PT.
Tragedy of PT.
Peony.
Oh yeah, because Gavin plays it. I understand. Keep going.
The flavor of this tea is very light and muted because it pairs well. It goes with other flavors
This is
typically.
terrible.
Raspberry?
What?
Yeah.
Give him here.
No, like there's other plants and shit they'll put in with the white tea.
Should I put the raspberry in the tea?
No.
In your mouth.
Idiot.
We don't have paper towels.
We got
okay.
tissues.
No, we don't.
But the
That's
flavor
fine.
of the tea pairs well with berries such as blueberries, raspberries, and others. Bright flavors like lemon, which is why I made a lemon square for all of
Speaking
y'all.
of, oh well.
You can go get one in a minute.
Well, no, yeah. I would.
In a minute.
In a minute. Honey, obviously, lavender, and melons.
She gets some honey lavender. Lavender honey.
I get it from the farmer's market all the time, but they're not going on right now. I just need to fucking look up and see if they have a website or I can fucking pick it up personally. I'm fiending for that shit, man.
That's nice. No melon this time.
No, because the only other melons that I like are watermelon and then the one we had last time. I fucking hate cantaloupe.
1, 2, 3, 4. My baby don't mess around
because she loves it so
Long as
and I don't for
Oh,
sure.
I'm glad you were there, but I didn't know the words.
But does she
Sure
really
is.
wanna fucking stand to see me
Walk out the door.
You guys single-handedly make me forget all the songs I know.
Don't try to fight the feeling, cause the thought alone is killing me right now. Thank God for mom and dad sticking two together, and we don't know how. You're supposed to come in there. Alright.
I want that to be our outro music.
Contrary to popular belief, Gavin, women can come.
Oh yes. So we're done with the tea segment now. We drank our tea, but we're still drinking tea.
Constantly drinking tea.
Now comes the time where
You heard what I do earlier,
we
of course.
figure out what the lore of this bit is. I come to thee, presenting ye a tale of
The oddities.
Scree. Yes, a tale of Scree.
It's Scree.
I come to thee presenting a tale of Scree. What is a tale of Scree? Well, it involves the paranormal, because I like what scares me. What scares me is the paranormal, or it did, but now I just kind of find it fascinating. And what do I come with you today? Well,
I really don't know how to tie this little segment in. I'm not
Right.
gonna lie to you.
it's a tale of Scree.
Tell
are-
us.
There's a genre of music called ska.
Yeah.
I don't think that really helps us here, unfortunately.
No, but it's
Maybe these
interesting.
are just little entities of the universe that we're trying to figure out if they're real or not.
Interesting.
Are these real entities of the universe out there? Usually, the answer is no. Which is when you come in and go, but these are. It's just what's happening in the universe.
This is the fake media.
We'll figure it
This is the fake news, and that's the real news right there.
out. But what part of that cult does that support?
One of the
that
fucking
were-
ones you sent
What
me
is
on
your
TikTok.
that were crazy.
That we're crazy.
This is for the degenerates.
We'll figure out how to layer it in.
What were the cults you sent me on TikTok?
I have no idea, but I think you should draw inspiration. I'd send him to Gavin, but he doesn't have TikTok anymore.
I guess I'll download it again.
But
Make
like,
my algorithm fucked up.
oh no, you're gonna lose.
I have scary TikTok videos to show you later.
What do you mean scary TikTok videos?
They'll spook you.
Okay. I take thee back to 1998 of December 4th. At 3:35 a.m., STS-88 commences, the first space shuttle mission to the International Space Station. Flown by the Endeavour, a retired space shuttle orbiter, whose last mission would take place in 2011. And harboring a crew comprised of 6 astronauts, 4 mission specialists, Jerry Ross, Nancy Curie, James Newman, and, I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, it's Russian, Sergei Krikalev.
Krikalev?
I think it's
Krikalev.
Krikalev. Here, I'll spell it. Sergei. Sergei. Sergei.
Okay.
How would you say that?
Yeah, no, that's probably
right.
right. Yeah.
Sergei? Okay. Krikalev.
K-R-I-K?
Krik. I thought Krikalev.
I have no idea.
Because I thought Kirkalev, but it's not Kirk.
Is it Kirk?
Because there's an R in front of the I. So Krik.
I don't think they have the same phonetic alphabet as we do, though.
Maybe not.
So I don't know what they're.
So that sounds like a Q in their language. Krikalev.
Perhaps.
A pilot, Frederick Sturkow,
Sturkow.
and the commander of the mission, Robert D. Cabana, which reminded me of the Copacabana, yes. And I listened to that song on repeat after finding that fact. On this mission, they would take the first American module, the Unity node, to the International Space Station. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, it means that the Unity node would be built into the functional cargo block, the first module of the International Space Station. It would be combined into it. And this was a historic moment because it's the International Space Station. It means it's comprised of many nations. And this was America's introduction into that.
And they added to it.
Yes. And
They made it bigger.
it required 3 spacewalks to connect power and data transmission cables between the two. The mission took 11 days to enact in total, and on December 15th, the crew would land.
That's when my mom was born. What year?
1998.
Okay, my mom was a couple years old.
But
when they got to the space station,
they were reunited with their families, and they would go home that night and eat a nice turkey dinner with some Americana apple pie. And then the 2 parents would tuck their children in and say, "Good night, sweetheart. We own space now." And then the husband would probably fuck his wife in the face or something. And a nice day commenced. But also,
go on.
the mission wasn't the important thing. What the important thing was what they found up there.
What'd they find?
Well, during the mission, a picture was taken. Now let me find my notes so I can get accustomed with myself again. A picture was taken of something that could only be described as extraterrestrial. It was a dark, misshapen obelisk, referred to now as the Black Knight satellite.
Oh.
The Black Knight satellite is theorized to be an extraterrestrial satellite that has been orbiting around Earth for 13,000 years, with the first recorded interaction with it being in 1899, close to when the Phantom Kangaroo was discovered, if I might add. I think they're connected. By none other than Nikola Tesla.
Really?
Yes.
The Nikola got everything stolen from him, Tesla?
I saw the Tesla towers today.
Bitch, this was meant to happen. Yes, the Nikola Tesla, the car, the character from the game, Nikola Tesla, and the real person who was very genius. Nikola Tesla. Through radio waves.
I know actually nothing about this man.
He's a very famous inventor. He was
Well,
rivals with Edison back in the day.
What was
Edison's
he
a thieving bitch.
Was Tesla like evil or something?
No.
No, Tesla was the good. Edison was the
I think he was in
dickhead.
love with a pigeon.
Okay.
That's real.
Just one?
I think he married a pigeon.
I think he married a pigeon.
Wow.
Maybe it's not a pigeon. Some type
It's
of
like a
bird,
raven.
Maybe.
I feel like there was a Gravity Falls bit about this.
In 1892, Tesla invented the idea of the radio, and would go on to create a radio-controlled or a radio transmitter-controlled toy boat in 1898. With that,
wow.
if you're like, for my gamers out there, you know that fucking Red Dead 2 mission where you literally pilot like a toy boat? That's what Tesla did. It was, I mean, if you think about the fact that was in the 1890s, that's fucking crazy to think about. That's crazy. That like technology leap of going of like, I mean, we talked about like how the gun was a major improvement.
Yeah, he was controlling things wirelessly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radio waves.
That's crazy.
He does
was
that,
using radio
and it's
waves.
science. A woman does that, witchcraft.
It's true.
Yeah, we'd burn her.
But times have changed, and it's all thanks to Nikola Tesla. You can literally you can blame everything that's ever happened on Nikola Tesla. I hope this gets out to everyone, and we stop hating each other now, so we can all hate on Nikola Tesla. So, like, since Tesla was the only person to have access to, like, a device capable of reading radio waves, like, the story goes that Tesla picked up, like, radio waves, which no one else would have had, so there was, like, another communication coming from where could only be perceived as, like, outside of our planet, since no one else has this technology. And Tesla, like, even supposedly went to a news reporter and was like, I was communicating with fucking Martians, dude. Like, and then he said, like, they said 1, 2, 3, 4. And they said that because numbers are universal. And I'm just thinking, like, what the fuck was this guy? Like, I know he's a genius, but, like, this is crazy talk. And I also know that Tesla kind of, like, thought that, like, his genius was coming from, like, aliens. He thought, like, like, his ideas were being transported into his head from some other external force. That, like alien type shit.
That's why he married a pigeon.
Perhaps. And maybe his ideas that he was getting came from the Black Knight satellite. It all comes tying together. And this is where my notes stop, because the rest of everything about this story is literally just people going like, I picked up a radio wave I didn't understand. It's gotta be the Black Knight satellite. And this is a great, like, this is a great creep tale. What are they called?
Or creepypasta?
No. What was the name we just came up with for this? DuckTales, but it was like creepy crawly story time. Scree something.
It was something scree.
But this is a great scree segment because it goes into to show the lengths people will go to just like add to a conspiracy theory, because everything about this is complete fucking nonsense. Like,
do you have any more on it?
What do you want?
Well, because I was fascinated, because I heard about this thing, and this
Yes.
is why I kind of said to you about it. Is because people were talking about how, like, there was, like, a lot of specific individuals who were, like, qualified, who were receiving a signal from this thing, that they all decoded it to be the same thing, and that this object has also, like, changed its orbit around Earth.
I didn't see any of this.
That's why I thought it was interesting. Because I didn't think it was just like...
Every source that I was getting was people just going like, dude, I heard a weird-ass fucking radio frequency. It must be the Black Knight satellite. And I was going, dude, and like the explanation that like was presented in one article I read was so like, oh, this is totally what it is. It was just like, people call this the Black Knight satellite, but in reality, this is probably a sleeping bag that was like, that flew off of the shuttle. because they put like a sleeping bag like picture of what they are like right next to it, and I'm like, that's it.
That's fucking funny.
Like, first off, it's hilarious that some wreckage like got out. Like, that's insane. To go like, guys, we lost cargo. How the fuck are we not dead right now? How did we lose a sleeping bag in the fucking space station?
Things happen.
Just what were they distracted with?
The flies.
Sudoku?
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh. They're watching Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
They're going, why does he look older?
Yeah.
The sleeping bag fell out. But yeah, it looks exactly like one. And I don't get the connection. Because all it is just like, you're probably just tuning into like a number station or some shit.
Do you want to know how creepy it was seeing that fucking stupid satellite tonight?
You saw it tonight?
Yes. I was putting all the shit for this podcast in my car, right? I look up at the sky. There's this vertical line of what looks like fucking stars going up against the sky really fucking fast, and the rest of the stars are stationary. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Every time I look in the sky.
But isn't it crazy that that's
And
what
it
you
looks-
see when like the nuke's coming at us for a few seconds before it hits you?
Right.
But it's just going like, it's fucking moving too. Like, it's not like,
Yeah,
It's
it'll
like-
be moving right into your location.
yeah. And then because the fucking, like, as it moves forward, the sunlight won't catch on it anymore, so it just disappears.
I'm starting to realize, like, why aliens freak me the fuck out.
Dude, it freaked me out seeing that out, and then fucking Jack, my uncle, he was like fucking...
Shooting at it.
No, he was like, that's Elon's towers, and I was like, what do you mean? That looks like a fucking spaceship.
Have we reached, like, the pinnacle of, like, what a comic, like, villain would be with, like, Elon Musk as a millionaire? That's literally the plot of, like, oh my god, look, a big evil spaceship is above us that looks like it's gonna destroy us. And the person's like, nah, that's just the millionaire's invention.
Did you see Elon Musk at that panel talking about like Twitter?
No.
And how he's like, fuck advertisers.
What do you mean?
Because there's been a big advertising strike about Twitter because like it depends who you ask and what Elon Musk actually did. He has kind of allowed a platform for like anybody to say whatever they want.
Yeah.
Which like, take that as you will. I don't know.
I heard him talk about it.
I felt like Twitter was already like that.
And I was kind of like...
No,
It was
apparently
not. It was
Twitter
not.
was very heavily censored.
Yeah.
I'm not a Twitter user.
But
But-
that's
but-
kind of the thing. Is he
so-
was like, this is free speech, though.
Yeah, and the advertisers didn't like that. So
Yeah.
they were like, well, we're not gonna advertise on.
Does he need it?
No. So that's why he was like,
Yeah.
fuck the advertisers. Like, it doesn't matter. I found it fascinating.
I
feel
heard...
like I'm in agreement with him when it comes to buying Twitter. At least when I hear him talk about it.
I
Maybe
heard-
there's other shit that he does.
I don't know
that-
how it is in practice.
Right? Like, I haven't heard the other side, I guess.
Like,
But in practice, what he's talking about, I'm like, this sounds logical.
Yeah, like, in writing it sounds logical, but, like, even, like, I've only heard bad things about Twitter since.
Right?
Though.
That's what I've heard, too.
I was
So-
gonna say,
Which makes me think it cannot be possibly going nearly as good as it sounds.
I don't know if this is like actually real or like in place right now, but I heard that you have to pay $1 every month to do like interactions or to like post or some shit like that.
That's wild.
That's what I already pay for, like, my Google.
Hey,
Shit.
did you guys hear about the anti-boycotting Starbucks shit?
No.
I don't know anything about it, and that's why I was really hoping you guys would have been able to shed some light on it. But, like, there was something I saw on TikTok by, like, a few separate creators who I kind of watch sometimes, and they're just like, yeah, they're trying to ban boycotting.
Who is?
The government, I guess?
How
How do you ban boycott?
I don't know. How does one ban boycott?
That's like, isn't that part of our First Amendment? Is we have the right to fucking
true.
protest peacefully?
Which
And we
is
can assimilate
the most-
too.
Well, that's capitalism.
We can also assimilate as long as
It's like
we're not
pay for
impeding
what
the
we want,
public.
basically.
But I'm like, ban. How do you ban boycotting?
I don't know. Are they gonna like throw people in jail?
I don't know if this is just like an elaborate bit right now that's going on.
Biden's just like, let's freak them out a little bit.
Well, no, I mean, like, I don't know if like there's just these creators are in on it, or there's some joke I'm missing, but like, because it sounds ridiculous, but I believe it because it's America. So like, I don't know, or it's the United States. America's much larger because there's a North and South.
Yes.
Do you think I've been thinking about this a lot recently? How the United
huge?
States how the United States specifically has claimed the title of Americans,
Right?
when everybody in North and South America should be Americans.
Right?
But no, the United States has claimed both the term America and Americans as a people.
What the fuck?
Canadians are their own.
But what I'm saying is, like, inherently they're all Americans. Yeah, it's the continent you're on.
When people say American, we know who we're talking about.
Yeah, talking about the United States of America. But like, is that
All of America is one thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
I was just thinking
It's
about this.
fascinating.
It's so interesting how the United States.
When you say America, you're talking about the United States. They claim that.
I'm so
Pangea.
just very, very anti the U.S. right now.
I have been forever.
I go through a lot of phases where I'm even more so, and right now I'm just like, yeah, man, I don't know about all this stuff over here.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to some shit, and they were talking about how like Americans, the United States, people from them there aren't allowed in North Korea, and it's primarily because the United States government doesn't want you going to North Korea
to learn out the truth of everything that's
the
happening.
truth. And don't get me wrong, I don't
The
think
reality.
I don't think North Korea's sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, no.
Don't get me wrong, I just don't know how bad it really is, because all the channel that
So
we get
the
all
reality.
our news from is heavily funded by the CIA and the US government.
Dude,
It's biased.
Yeah, the second-
probably do,
Because it's so-
I don't want to say like we do equal as level as like bad shit, but it's like we're shady fucks.
No, but
Everyone's
we
a
do.
shady fuck.
Yeah, but like we started like okay. Well, if you really want to get into it, the CIA also taught like Al Qaeda how to make bombs.
Oh
And,
Yeah.
boy. I love that this is what the show is becoming.
but you know like
My dad's loving this.
they learn.
Well,
Mine too.
He tuned out when we were like space, and he was like, "Nah, that's not real." Fuck no."
Dude, the second I learned that you can't trust a single goddamn news source was the second I realized this fucking country is shit.
Dude, it's
kinda-
wild.
Go on.
No, it is just so crazy to how corrupt like everything is and how like stupidly biased everything is. Okay, and here, okay, now here we go. All right, we're spiraling because I
love it.
recently
I love
I've been because this
I've needed this. Keep going.
the
This
state
is what
and
the
like
show
religion
is
are heavily like intertwined at this point. Like it's supposed to be very separate. Like by our constitution, it's
Oh,
supposed to be
you're
the
gonna
church and
get
the
me
state.
going.
They're supposed to be separate.
Shit.
But
In general,
but looking at like, oh my god.
every
Religion fascinates me, right? And we talk about it because you're like, oh, science is some type of religion. The reason I find comfort in science though is if I recreate every like experiment to how it was, like it's gonna have the same result.
Yeah, I like science too.
But
That's what I base most stuff on. But
No, I know.
Like I'm just like, yeah,
But
this
we
is
know.
my belief set.
Well, but that's the thing.
I'm not viewing it as a bad thing.
No, and I'm not trying to say like religion. I don't know how religion is. I don't know how my stance is on it right now.
unbiased.
But like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's fascinating to me that people are like,
The
I want
effect it
to have
has.
my belief system is not set in like our understanding of the rules of our surroundings.
What's around
Oh,
us?
sick.
Yeah.
I've heard some fucking political shit going because okay, so my little radio transmitter in my car, right, for my Bluetooth, so I can play radio on my phone.
Yeah.
The channel that I use is 103.3.
Don't use that channel.
Every time
Black Knight's on there. Dude.
Every time I unplug my shit because waste battery, I gotta unplug it before I like leave my car. It plays like 3 different channels, but the one that always plays the most is some religious fucking station to where they'll read out chapters of the Bible. and they'll have guests
I
on.
found those one day skipping through the radio, and I was like, "This exists."
But it's never a clear signal. It's always like static going through too. So I'm
That's
just
like the most terrifying shit ever.
yeah.
I play an Exorcist.
And my fucking volume be loud as shit. So the second that I pull it out, I'm getting blasted and it's dark outside. I'm like,
And
ah!
there's this old white man going, "Dun dun dun dun, God rose from the
Yeah.
dead."
Dude, recently,
Yeah, actually,
It's terrifying.
I came across this old interview of this like heavier set like old white woman, and like she's being interviewed by some dude, and it's like some probably over angelic like fucking churchman or something, and he's like, so why don't you? What are you looking at?
my cup. I brought that up here. I don't think that's mine. That's not mine. That's Sprite.
That is what the fuck? Isn't your cup big? Is your cup the same size as that Sprite?
Yeah, my Arizona.
Oh, you're talking about, you said cup. I thought you meant like your fucking tumbler thing you bring around every once in a while. I was like, Jesus
I
Christ.
forgot that at home. That has my cup holder on it currently.
Anyway, it's some over angelical like church man like talking to this woman and her husband, and she's just like,
That shit.
he's like, so why do you like not believe in the Bible? And she's like, well, it's just so hateful. There's just so much hate in the Bible. And he
Is
goes,
there a lot of death that happens?
he goes like, what do you mean? He goes, well, have you read it? Like, there's so much like hate in the, I don't like it, whatever. And he's like, so, or she's like, you don't believe like that.
It's like someone who's actually read the entire Bible versus people who claim to know everything about the Bible and are basically posers of their religion.
And she's like, you don't believe something happens after we die, right? And he goes, well, of course I do. You know, of course I think there's heaven. He goes, well, that's not right. Like, you know what happens when you delete a recording, right? And he goes, well, yeah, it's gone forever. And she goes, yeah. Well, our consciousness is like a recording. Once it's deleted, it's gone forever.
She's making this man's world feel crumble.
He's just
crazy.
like, huh.
Oh shit!
I can't
you're
wait
right.
to do that to someone.
I
can't do that to
I wouldn't
someone.
want to do that to
I
somebody.
don't want that guy to think that he's gonna be fucking fine in the end, unless he's like a racist or some shit.
I'm talking about like when they're just like being absolute shit, like they are actually scum on earth evil.
Okay. But like that, to have that faith that like you know what happens after death, I'd be like, yeah, have that, dude.
The people who find power from religion disgust me. Mm-hmm. And I know it's weird to say it's three cult leaders.
Like the Joel Osteen motherfuckers.
But yeah, but the fucking super churches that prey on these poor evangelical people. I like that word.
Don't even get me started on fucking.
These people who just like can't. Something doesn't click for them where they can just stand for
The
themselves.
people
They
that
have
get
to
rich
have
off the
that.
church.
Yeah, they prey on those people who just like, and that bothers me.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's so scummy.
Hot takes here.
Like,
If
Yeah,
you
no, it's all-
prey upon people trying to find their hope and will in life, like their security, and you're using money out of them, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't want to say following a religion is weak, but like, why can't you fucking? Why can't you like?
Why
live
can't you
for
be a
yourself?
free
You know
thinker?
what I mean? Like, why do you need to find some greater purpose? What is it that you can't appreciate
trying to escape?
about the one thing that makes you special in this universe, which is your consciousness? Because there's nothing, there's so much shit out there that like can't have thoughts beyond itself, and you're sitting here wasting away fucking believing some artificial thing that was made up thousands of years ago that has not been consistent once. What the fuck are you doing? Are you kidding me? A book written like thousands of years ago. Like, what the fuck, dude?
And has been repurposed for every fucking leader's personal views. Don't even give me how many fucking times the Bible's been
And nobody
changed
agrees.
because of people who rule Britain.
Nobody agrees on shit. That's why there's different forms of fucking. Okay, hold on.
It's all for
wanna be
personal
clear.
gain.
I'm not speaking on all religion. I'm just talking about Christianity. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
only
I
one.
know you are.
Isn't
Yeah.
it crazy? Isn't it
We
crazy?
all fucking know.
Because it's so ingrained in our fucking political system. It's crazy. It's all coming back around, man.
Oh my god.
Because that's all I'm exposed to.
And then we literally have our stupid little bill, right? Our fucking all that shit.
Hold on. Shout out to the
just a
Pope
bill.
for approving
For liking this
same-sex marriage.
Oh, okay. He watches us. He's like, I love the Spectruminal Trinitea.
Shout out to the Pope if you're watching. That was a shot. I just shot at the Pope.
Change tone as soon as you realize we're talking to the Pope. I saw your character change. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
hello there.
Well, you know, I'm a gentleman.
We have our protection against having church and state. They can't be together, but they're always bringing it in there. Every argument I see against fucking, this is hot topic, fucking abortion, they always lead with a religious statement. Always. Religion is supposed to be separate from state, not to mention we as the United States, we are a mixing pot for culture. We have...
You know what? Something else is crazy.
No one cares about that.
I've been thinking about this for a while now, and it's so obvious. Everybody has this thought at one point, I'm sure. But it's seriously just the thought of like, why do we hate people coming into our country? Wasn't that the whole point of the United States? It's like we were like, hey,
trying to break away.
Let's take everybody. You know,
They were not like, let's take everybody.
Is it?
They were racists.
Why?
I'm continuing
They
because
were like, let's leave our oppressor and go fuck off in the new land, and that's what they did.
we have so many different cultures. That's why we don't even have a fucking national food, because there are so many
We don't have a national language. Fuck anybody who says if you come to America you should speak English.
Yeah. No national language, no national religion. Why are you bringing
You're
one
creating
religion?
separation for no reason. You're just a piece of shit.
Why bring the
We are
religion
gonna be
that we
cult
don't
leaders.
have as a national thing
Dude,
We're gonna be real
into?
culty. This is gonna be in the documentary that gets made about this, and I'm gonna be like, God
Dude,
damn, why did I
artificial
start
discrimination pisses me off to no end.
We're gonna get the wrong crowd from this, guys. We're gonna get like people who are actually like, you're fucking right.
Isn't that terrible?
Our comment section is gonna be filled with American flags.
Do you guys know about the Matt Rife fucking controversy about his new special?
No.
He has a news special?
His newest special, it was on Netflix. He
Oh.
opens with a domestic violence joke.
Okay.
And it wasn't perceived well. Part of why it wasn't
Matt Rife
perceived
the
well.
young one?
He's
Yeah.
the one that everyone's fucking fiending over, but he's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fucking jerk to women.
Well, and
Or
that's
is he a comedian?
No,
Well-
actually, he's just a piece of shit.
and that's
So I get
that's the whole
defensive when it comes to
controversy.
stand-ups.
And I understand that. I understand the defensiveness. But like first, it wasn't a good joke.
Okay, what's the joke?
It was.
I want to know this now. This is me and my.
Well, we have to watch it. Like
Okay.
we'll have to watch it.
Quick, put it on the screen.
But it was a basic joke, right? It wasn't like he was doing
This was
something.
opener too.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
this was his opener.
Okay.
And then I saw a take recently about it because I don't really care.
What's the joke?
It's
Is it about domestic violence?
Yeah, it's just about domestic violence.
But
Did he say like, "Oh, I beat my
I feel
girlfriend"?
like I don't understand what he. I do need to hear it now because I hear this and I go, you can joke about anything.
And I agree with you, and it's fascinating that people are like, wait, all they hear is, wait, it's about domestic violence?
Yeah, and then people get pissed about that, and it's like, you motherfuckers, you fucking idiots. Just because you say you joke about something doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
Anyway, but I saw
Was
this.
the joke good? I guess is what I'm saying. Like,
From my understanding-
I'm getting flashbacks to when like Chappelle was getting shit, and I'm like, you motherfuckers, this guy is one of the best stand-ups of all time. You're an idiot. But I'm not. I guess I shouldn't be like. That's just my bias coming out when it comes to this stuff. But,
Yeah, I
this
understand.
guy probably isn't a Chappelle level. I don't want to shit on the guy, but like, you know.
He's not actually that funny.
Okay.
He's okay.
But like those claims make me mad.
I think he's
listen.
alright.
He
I don't
has yet to get an actual like belly laugh out of me. Anytime he shows like his trending video of like that week, every time it pops up, I watch it and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, like it was funny, but I didn't like belly
I
laugh.
don't get a belly laugh out of much stuff that it's like stand-ups put out.
I don't know. When it comes to stand-up specifically, I more like to look at the
It's the process
art
stage
of the
presence.
joke.
Art of the joke.
Yeah, that's what I
know
focus
used
on.
to, but I think I'm just so exposed to it now that it doesn't like affect me as much as it did. Like, dude, the first time I found Bill Burr, I was fucking crying laughing.
Yeah,
It was, oh my god, that feeling of like, yeah.
yeah.
I have caveman brain. Make me laugh.
And I don't really have that anymore, but I think it's just because ever since that, I've been consuming it so much that I just look at it from a different perspective now.
That is interesting.
Yeah. And I don't want to say, like, I know the fucking art, alright? Because that's stupid.
That is
Like,
very
I don't know
yeah.
what it's like. Because I don't want to come off as this guy who's like defending stand-ups or whatever, because that looks stupid. Because I'm not someone who is a stand-up, and I don't know what that's like. But I hear them talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, and I'm just like, listen, these people are really fucking smart. They know how to tell a goddamn joke. Or at least a lot of them do. And there are moments when you're working on a bit at like a fucking club, and you don't have the entire thing like bulletproof yet, but you're working on it, and then so people get that half-baked bit, and then they just take you for that. They just take you as that's what you are now, and it's like, no, motherfucker. I'm talking about Louis C.K. right now, basically.
Funnily enough, Matt Rife was known for his his crowd work.
Really?
Yeah, like that's what a big criticism of his is. He only does crowd work.
He only does crowd work.
He doesn't, but that's a big criticism for a lot of people. It's like you only do crowd work. You're nothing more.
Okay.
Another thing why a lot of people found like his opener to his bit fascinating, or like, and maybe their words disgusting, is because supposedly most of his fans are women.
Because
yeah, I know this.
I was about to say, it's only because he is attractive.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I know this guy. I've seen him sit with Segura, like on a clip. I haven't watched the entire thing, but I know this guy.
Segura on a clip.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know. It's just like the way you said that, I don't know.
And what? So why is he getting this shit? Because his fan base is women?
Yeah. So they're like...
Okay. Sorry. Continue.
No, I don't know.
I want to know more.
I don't know much about the situation. I've only been hearing parts of it because I don't care enough.
Yeah, I don't care about celebrity news.
Well, I still don't care enough about this specifically.
I don't care.
I just didn't know if you heard about it.
No, I haven't.
I heard a take recently about how, like... Matt Rife didn't do a good enough job establishing himself like as a comedian and not like as himself. You know what I mean?
No. Go on.
This particular individual was talking about how when I don't know.
What do you know?
No, I'm out.
No.
It's gone.
Ah!
Hold on.
No more white boy.
Oh, fuck, what was he saying?
Matt Rife.
He kind of looks like a Big Mouth character.
He kind of does. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, so they was talking about how, like, when it comes to stand-up comedy, like, you want to receive, like, more laughs than, like, if you were receiving claps. Because the idea is these are all jokes, not like something somebody should genuinely be agreeing with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, most of the time, the way to establish that is by establishing that you are joking. Like you're not stating these things as if
they're fact.
Which should.
So what is he talking about?
I think in a sense it should be assumed that if you're going to a comedy show that they're like.
There's a vibe around that.
But what this individual was saying is they didn't feel that at any point Matt Rife established himself as a comedian.
As joking.
Yeah, he always established himself as
came
himself.
Out on stage and like, because like the thing with the comic is like, part of like what's great about it is you can get up on stage and since you're in that environment you can say things that you could never say anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like you can't say what they say up on stage in a fucking office. They can just get away with it. They can say awful shit. And part of what's so great about that is you're acknowledging that person can say that awful shit and go like, look at me, I'm a fucking crazy person for saying this shit.
Because you know it's not their actual viewpoint or their belief. Because
it establishes that tone of like...
So he didn't separate his character from him?
Yeah, like it was...
Could you give me an example of like what he did? Or do you not?
I think I can't, but I think part of it goes along with the idea that he is primarily doing crowd work, where he himself is interacting with the crowd rather than like this stage presence that would be like as another comedian, perhaps. You know what I mean?
Going on like the woman aspect of it, I think I heard that like his comedy persona, whenever he's doing his crowd work, he is, I guess, picking on women.
Oh,
Or, like,
does he flirt a lot? Isn't that another thing?
It's kind of like
He flirts with a lot of women on stage.
that. Yeah, that, and he also has a girlfriend. But
Please.
I
It's an act.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't.
Unless
he legitimately has a girlfriend.
No,
if
but
it legitimately comes out he's cheating on his girlfriend, sure. But this is his act.
yeah, if he's
No,
actually
I'm
getting
not
with these
saying
women,
that. I'm just
it's
saying that he
different.
has a girlfriend.
Again, this is my.
I know. You got
shit.
defensive, and I kind of did too because I'm like, yeah, like he can. He's on stage.
And
He's
the
not like.
I know. I'm saying
knows
like this is. Well,
these are his fans.
that's actually-
And they're
this is
paying
a
tickets
recent
to go see
development.
him. They know this is going to happen.
But also like
the girlfriend is a recent development. That's why I brought it
well,
up.
yeah, like keep his life private. You know, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's something that also pisses me off. How we treat like. I get that you sign this, like we're signing the social contract right now that if somebody wants to try to find my house, like, and harass me, eventually, like, I guess fucking.
Someone sniper wolves you? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, I guess, like, we're coming into the public eye, like,
You're right.
that's the idea, but, like, it's crazy to me that's how we treat these people, because it makes them, in my head, it makes them feel even more like gods.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
What else? So he gets up on stage and he doesn't feel like a. Does he just? Because what I'm thinking of is of like the like woke comic shit of just like going up on stage and being like Tim Dillon made a great point about it. I can't remember like exactly what his phrasing is because, you know, I respect the hell out of that guy. I think he's incredible. But he was just like, yeah, you go up on like a. Comedy used to be talking a bunch of shit and just like saying like horrible shit. Now it's go vote for the election for this like candidate. Like that's kind of what comedy's turned into now. And it's just it's going for how he said claps.
Well,
yes, you're right. Yes.
and that's another thing like this
don't
guy kind of touched on was like not the juxtaposition, but the change in the climate of comedy where people are suddenly applying this social contract to these comics that they aren't they're less comfortable on average to like let it push, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To push these social boundaries.
And that sucks because it's always that shit that where it's like that's how you get great comedy is because that's what the art form allows is to say that crazy shit.
Yeah. That you might be thinking but don't believe.
Yeah, and they can say it in a way that doesn't come out as offensive, but like makes you laugh.
Yeah,
Like,
well, a good comic can.
Look at Carlin. Like all that shit,
Yeah.
dude. He got fucking arrested for telling us jokes. But the fact is, like, he phrased, and the thing is, he had legitimate points that you can look back at and go, he was fucking right, and he phrased those in a way that made you fucking laugh.
Yeah.
That made you laugh at the craziness of what the fucking world was coming to. And, like, the shit you can't do and the shit you can do. He can, like, the fact that he can make it sound that way, he can put those words together and deliver in a certain way where instead of making you, like, reek your gut, like, in, like, disgust, you fucking burst out laughing. That's fucking incredible.
I don't think I've ever actually watched a whole set of fucking Matt Rife shit. I only just get like highlights of it.
I mean, I don't have to work early in the morning. If we want to watch his newest special tonight after this.
I can't do that tonight. I can't.
What
I would
a
love
shame.
to.
What time is it?
I have work tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you were off.
I also thought you were off.
No. I work like 7 days in a row.
Ah.
Yeah, I got a little bit fucked, but it's whatever.
Oh my god, I put in my 1 week notice yesterday.
But
I just got a raise.
Matt Rife.
I don't know
What else
how
we
much
talking
more
about?
there is on that.
Do you know what are the examples of how he would come out? Was there ever like a? Did it just seem like a guy walked up and was like, "Hey"?
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey, oh, how are you?"
I mean, like, it feels like that, but that's only because, again, I get just like the shorts on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know if I've watched. You know what? I don't know if I've watched a full set besides his new special. Because I just get like the highlights of like what he wants you to obviously see, what he's promoting. Like that's how you use social media. I understand.
It's how a lot of information's like, or a lot of media is consumed now. Is through shorts.
Yeah.
But he just showed, I see him on TikTok, so. No, I guess I don't know how he presents himself. But like his bits always feel more personal than, at least In my experience, a few of his bits. I won't say always because I haven't watched a lot of them.
From what I've seen.
And not even all of what I've seen. But I get where people can be like, yeah, it seems like more of a personal, or it's him rather than like a persona.
Is that a bad thing?
It does when you try to establish trust with an audience of you are in fact joking rather than you are stating opinions. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Again, it's like claps to laughs, like. Mm-hmm. Well, with that, testicular cancer.
Is that what you're getting checked up for on Friday?
No, they just like to feel my balls.
AIDS. All right, everybody. It's time for round 3. Now is time for the segment in which
we view.
Kyan recites a little bit of the added lore to our cult in the ways of his viewings. Now, what are those? Well, Kyan gets a little view into a soul out there in the universe that's going through their mortal or afterlife, and
he's feeling the radio waves
for them to find the end of the universe. Yeah. I have to explain all this so it gets ingrained in their heads what we're about.
Keeping on theme, he's viewing through the radio waves.
Yeah, he's Nikola Tesla right now.
It's 2 little towers.
The Black Knight or whatever.
All right. I'm getting a color. It's yellow. Oh, wow! It even though it kind of looks orange on camera.
This is yellow though.
Hey,
it's yellow for us.
Sorry. This is yellow. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm putting my hood on. I want to get scary.
You want to get scary? We'll get scary, Gavin.
I gotta get scary.
Alright, I'll preface this with this is a shorter one. But also writing things. And I'll explain later.
Great.
Growing up, he could recall hearing countless tales of something known as the garden. I'm getting some, not quite a name, just some letters. T.S. T.S. was a lowly shopkeeper who would offer his wares to anyone who would walk through his door. He wasn't the type to go after the fame of adventuring. He never dreamed of being a hero, saving the day. No. What he was interested in was akin to tinkering and collecting. He strove to provide the means for others to be whatever they wanted to be. At a fair price, of course. Although, it was never about the money for him. He just enjoyed the art of the sale. Bargaining, negotiating, bartering, he loved it all. But make no mistake, T.S. wasn't afraid to get his hands a little dirty to ensure the tranquility of his shop. His reputation grew quickly for always offering the best wares. Luckily, he made friends with just the right people to keep him protected. He was the most visited spot in his city for years. Eventually, he'd grow tired of this day to day and would start looking for the garden from the tales he so vividly remembered from his childhood. So,
all right.
This is okay. So actually, I don't even know where to begin. Once again,
I love that
every segment. Well, okay. So I wrote this story twice. So I wrote it once in the third person.
Yes.
And once in the first person.
Yes.
And the first draft was actually the first person draft.
All right.
I will now read the same thing in the first person.
Okay.
So we can compare and contrast these.
All right.
Hood going back down.
I never thought I'd find it. Growing up, I always heard stories about it, the garden. And it was absolutely magnificent. I don't even know where to begin. Yes, of course. Years ago, I was just a lowly shopkeeper, offering my wares to anyone who would walk through my door. You see, I never wanted to be renowned for adventuring or being any hero of a sort. Actually, I always preferred collecting and tinkering. I really just wanted to provide means for anyone to be anything they dreamed of. At a fair price, of course. It was never really about the money, just the art of the sale. Something about making the transaction just gave me a sense of purpose. And make no mistake, I wasn't afraid to crack a few skulls to ensure the security and tranquility at my shop. Luckily, my reputation grew, and I was protected by some friends I made over the years. I was probably the most visited shop in my city at one point. Eventually, after hearing about some of my greatest friends perishing on their ventures, I decided to pursue the legend of the garden. So they are very much literally the same story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One's just in the first person.
I think I prefer the third person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this. But I want to know what your entire thought process is behind this. Like, get everything you want to say out.
Start where? With the story itself, or am I starting? Because this story, technically, and you know who this is.
I do.
Yeah.
Know who this is. I know who this is, people. And so it kind of gets me excited about it, but like...
Because he's been in my writing for years.
Yes.
Which is fascinating. I don't know how far I want to get into that.
I'm just fascinated by how you... Because I also preferred the third person.
Yeah.
But like...
I think it's because I objectively like knowing the situation in general, just like about life. But
like the actual like set details.
Yes. Meanwhile, I like if you want to learn more about the character as like who they are, like their sense of self, first person is better for that. But or at least in this example, first person was better for that.
Well, and I guess like the biggest example of like knowing these hard facts is like he was in fact the most visited place in his city. But like, and that's like one of the details. Like, oh yeah, he was, but he doesn't know for sure if like he was in his own head. Like he probably views himself differently, it skews the story a little bit. So when you think about like the third person, is more of an objective sense on things.
Instead of bias, as we were speaking of earlier this episode.
Bias.
Bias.
But, So, I guess talking about the story objectively, when we think about what happens here, I'll break it down because that's what I did last time, and we seem to flow with that a little bit. There is a character here. Goes by TS. That's all we got. That's all I could interpret. And he, in the third person, he doesn't actually come across it. In the first person, it is stated that he has, like, he's there, he's found it, but he has to tell the story in chronological order. So he goes back to the beginning and establishes who he is in his head. Whereas in the third person, it doesn't say he's found it. He's just thinking about it and starting from that chronological first position. So I think that's there's a few differences with that I think is interesting, because like, do you like it better that you don't know, like,
if he's found it?
Yeah.
Yes.
If he's just like it introduces like this thing that he's heard about.
I like the introduction of just the garden, describing it, but then, because again, I assume this is only the start of what is a bigger story. So to just tease the garden and then cut to something completely different that feels like it has nothing to do with the story is hooking, I feel.
Oh yeah. I think there's a lot. There's a lot that you can say about this concept.
About what concept?
Just like the idea of the garden, and like what is it? You know, you don't know.
We don't know.
And we come to this complete other story.
I love literature. Oh my god.
I despise when things are like very poorly written.
Yeah.
But like that's not. But
I like.
You know, I do too. It stops me from playing video games.
I just really like reading books and then talking about it.
But yeah, you follow this character, like I said, TS, who just like really has a purpose in life, which so far has been just selling, buying goods, acquiring them, making them, and just allowing people to travel, adventure, be what they want to be. He has some pride in that, and he doesn't really care about the money or the fame. It's just like he loves making deals.
Is this why you love the Shield hero so much?
I don't know. And I think that comes across more in the way it's like described in the third person narrative, where it's like it's more described as bartering, negotiate and bargaining, where it's not just like this idea of a sale, that it's always something being sold. Like he's willing to negotiate. It says a lot about how he operates as a being. Yeah. I don't know how much I have to say unprompted. Do you have questions?
Well, yeah, I'm just...
Like, what are you interested in? What do you want to talk about
I'm interested in
here?
how you're telling your story.
Let me see.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm finding it fat because we talked about how last time we were like, because the first person perspective is interesting to me, but I'm like, since I know you want the people to take the story and run with it, I don't know if it's always the smartest thing to just like be in the first person and always say what they're feeling. And so you went with a third person perspective with this one. And what is like fascinating to me is that like I'm getting excited because like I feel like you're getting close to being something that's so fucking awesome.
Yeah?
Where you're getting close to like throwing me on my ass with like I cannot wait for the next fucking story. Because the thing that like I think happened here is when you read the third person and then the first person story, they kind of played out similarly. It's just like a lot of the times you would just exchange he with I.
Yeah. Like I said, it's essentially the same story here.
Yes, and I've just been thinking about the ways where it's like
I like dissecting papers.
you're going into the third person perspective and it's creating it does feel richer. Like it feels like we're discovering along like what the story is as it's being read. But I think you need to really get to the point where you're not saying what the characters are doing and showing it.
Okay.
Because if you could like read along like the story, the third person one, I was just getting so many ideas for how to convey it without saying. Like, can you read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get to a line I'm gonna remember like a lot.
Well, and the idea with this is like, and I'm kind of doing this when it comes to the writing process of the lore. I'm kind of doing this with all of them, where it's just this like idea where I introduce these. So far, and some of it does just come down to my poor writing skills because I'll acknowledge that.
When you people watch, do you narrate what they're doing in your head? Like,
No.
Do you like question what they're doing or why they're doing it?
No, I just watch. I'm just like, ooh, look at that.
Oh.
That guy's a little interesting. That guy looks like a cryptid. We have a cryptid at Walmart.
I think every
Next time, try narrating it.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Where was I?
I don't know.
Well, what was I saying? Do you remember?
You were reading. You're about to start reading.
Oh, but like future plans of writing, I would go into these stories and like actually tell like the stories before this moment, because in my head, even like the third person, like that establishes that he's like in my head he's found it. This is the story before that, I guess. But I'm just laying out the foundation, specifically in this one, because I know I want to tell more TS stories.
Yeah.
Of like who this person was, and I'm gonna like expand upon that more in those other stories.
I think you can. You can still do that with what I'm gonna say.
All right, here I'll. Do you want me to start from the beginning?
Yeah, start from the beginning.
Growing up, you recall hearing countless tales of something known as the Garden. TS was just a lowly shopkeeper who would offer his wares to anyone who walked through his door.
Okay, right here.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the scene, and like how do we shoot like this? Because again, I'm thinking like film shit. So I'm thinking like, okay, what does the scene look like? And you say lowly town. shopkeep. Now, does that mean his shop is bustling, or is it like one person walks into the store at a time?
I guess, and that's actually interesting because I think because I just made like this first person story third person by essentially just changing he and some of the details and how some of the information is presented. I think lowly was carried over from that because to me that'd be more about how he views himself rather than how objectively it was stated.
Exactly, and that's the subtext we need to get to.
Okay.
I think he thinks of himself as a lowly shopkeep, but how do we show it without... we'll be right back, folks. So, we were talking
That's
about...
the subtext we have to reach because lowly was left over from his thought process of himself rather than like
but
the
what do we
objective
actually
sense.
show what's happening? So is like one person coming in at the shop at a time, or is it bustling?
Well, and I think that was my way of also... Because...
Are you describing the town as lowly?
No.
Okay.
Because eventually it's a city, right?
Where's a shop?
And this is
Establishing shop. Where are we?
I think it's a developing town. Initially,
Okay.
at the beginning of his story, but it's all summed up here rather than it being like laid out. Because in the beginning of his story, I think he is in a small town that slowly kind of builds around him.
And we could still focus the entire story around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while, like I think he's not like this renowned place, but eventually,
Small town.
yeah, eventually it builds
into this
into this
city.
city, and it's not even until it's after a city that he's become like renowned for his wares that he offers to people.
Okay.
Like he's there for a while. He develops with this town, but like just behind it.
Okay.
Do you think developing that timeline in like the short span of the story would be more beneficial, or do you not want to show the progression?
Well, the idea is eventually I can write that story or the beginning of that story and expand on it rather than trying to shove it
All in one episode?
all the ideas into one story and like B just the established background of this character.
Why do you feel the need to set out his entire story?
I mean I don't need to. It's not something that I just think like I'd tell parts of it like in different parts of his adventure here on his mortal plane.
Okay. Okay, so can you read the first sentence again? We're only on the first sentence.
Yeah. Growing up, he could recall hearing countless tales of something only known as the garden. The next one was T.S. was just a lowly shopkeeper who offers wares to anyone who'd walk through the door.
Okay. Now, I just want to throw these questions at you, like this creative writing shit. I'm just going to throw questions at you and just give me what your gut instinct answer is.
Okay.
So, like, what's his shop like? How many people are in there? What's it look like?
I think
What's he selling?
his shop's always small.
Always small.
I think regardless, because there's so much to this character. Because
if you don't want to reveal it all, that's fine.
Yeah, because this character
it's okay to withhold information.
becomes interesting, or even more interesting, after the moment he finds the garden.
That's all characters, though. They all become more interesting to a certain
Well,
extent.
and
We
what
have
I'm
to
saying is,
establish
like, this is his
first.
midpoint of anything. There's so
We
much
can't-
story.
We can't just get to his midpoint, though.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's what the idea of this establishing is. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
His story gets much more interesting, but before we can get to any of that,
We have to start at the base.
we have to start at the base.
What's his shop like?
And I think his shop is relatively small.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't think it's obviously not like a Walmart size thing.
So like a community market or smaller?
Smaller. Like
I'm talking like general
does he
idea, not actual size.
he sells weaponry and trinkets
Weaponry
and
and
maybe some magical items.
So it's like
Gotcha.
walking into
Like a
Lane's
gun store.
Web.
Walk into a gun store. Is it even that
Essentially, yeah. I think because we've been to like the Armory or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger than that.
bigger than
Than
that?
that?
Okay.
Like, if anyone's watched Stardew or played Stardew Valley or watched it even,
This is a great reference.
I think it's like Pierre's store, maybe just like another shelf bigger.
Pierre's store.
Yeah, it's not big, because he has like 3 shelves, right? Like 3 aisles essentially.
Yeah.
I think maybe the TS has another one, and then on like the walls and shit, there's also like stuff that you can Like there's like shelves and
Okay.
like there's just like some random baskets
I'm
sometimes.
imagining
Well, actually, okay. If
I'm imagining like some display cases with like shit in it. Is that there or not? No.
okay, so I'm getting so far ahead of myself. In the beginning, it's a simple
Ass shop.
Yeah. Essentially, he's just like any other.
We should probably cut this part out. What I'm about to say.
Cut back in here. There's only like 4 or 5 aisles, and like he can oversee essentially the whole store from where he's at.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Like he's it's like a small convenience store essentially. Like you're just in there. You have
gas
some.
station.
Yeah. Initially, it's probably just some racks of like
What the drive-through looked like.
some racks of weapons and like just like some tables of trinkets that he's made or like little gadgets that he's made. I think I don't know if I can say that. When developing this character, I think part of it, the idea of this bartering, negotiating, and bargaining whole thing is going to be the idea that people just trade him for things sometimes, and then he messes with that, and he sees what he can do with that. He's a very inquisitive, he's very interested in like seeing what he can do with what he's presented.
Okay. Can you continue reading? Where are we at? Like read the sentence we left off at, I guess.
Who offers wares to anyone who walked through the door? He wasn't the type to go after fame or adventuring, and he never dreamed of being the hero that saved the day.
Okay.
I just want to establish like
I'm trying to think of how the ways to establish it without saying it though. Because already, if he's a merchant selling off shit of like weapons, that's pretty close to it. We're already kind of getting there.
Well,
it's probably just some other way of like. I think there's some other way we establish it probably later that comes. But what I'm thinking, but we can't do it yet. But we have to keep going.
Well, and I guess the idea with that line there is to establish like he comes across all this cool shit. He could definitely like seek that, but he's not interested in that. It is. Hold on a second. It's right next here. It's something akin to tinkering and collecting.
Okay.
He's more interested in like I said, what he can find and what he can do with what he's provided. Like it's not
the shop just kind of happens to be like a byproduct of
that and like the art of the deal. Like he likes like going back and forth with somebody about like what he can get from them and what he can give them.
Okay.
Like it's the negotiating side. I like the idea of bartering. It's not just bargaining where you're trying to haggle this price down. It's
what can you give me?
You're like, oh hey,
yeah. What are you willing to give me?
This is worth this much to me. Da, 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 da.
Continue.
He strove to provide the means for others to do, or to be whatever they wanted to be at a fair price, of course. At a fair price, of course, isn't really needed there, because again, it's not. In the next sentence is like it's not about the money. Like it doesn't matter. He wants it to be an even deal.
I was like, just like saying bartering before that kind of just says that.
Also, I like the idea that part of him just likes to see others succeed.
Okay.
So like that's part of his drive is to like I want to help you, but it's gonna be on my turn. You know, it's
I'm
like
gonna have some fun.
And
yeah, he wants to enjoy himself.
The thing is like you can have all of this, but like there's a lot being established with the character. You don't have to establish everything about the character the first scene. You can establish some things, but then later in other stories you can express those other character like emotions in other different completely scenes where they might not usually fit. They might have to have their own entire scene. I mean, think about the story we're writing. We can't cram everything that those characters go through in one scene. They have all those different scenes to show those different emotions, and they all kind of play off of each other.
And I guess thinking about it like logically when writing, it wouldn't make sense if it's in the third person to establish like this much if we're thinking about like a overarching story.
Exactly. But
like,
we are thinking about that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, and I think that's kind of where it falters when it was just like first person to third person, like a sense adaptation of like what I wrote. Because it is that idea that if it was him telling the story, yeah, he'd definitely give you more of a personal insight to how he viewed all of these things.
Yes.
But because it was in third person, it didn't necessarily fit with the writing style to do all of the things that were continuing to be said. Which is fascinating to think about when I go forward writing.
Right. Yeah. Please continue. Yeah, please continue.
Although it was never about the money for him, he just enjoyed the art of the sale, bargaining, negotiating, bartering. He loved all of it. So, we've talked about this already. Like, that's what we've been breaking down. So I'm going to move past that. But make no mistake, T.S. wasn't afraid to get his hands a little dirty and share the tranquility of his shop. This is...
Now we're getting somewhere.
Where I want to, like... I leave that there so I can set up scenes where he does have to, like, show he's capable, in a sense.
Okay.
Because it's the idea, like... Yeah, I could be an adventurer, but I'm not. This is not what I want.
Okay, let's just do this. Let me say scene idea. Person walks in, and they're trying to buy some wares or whatever, and like, again, I don't understand this character nearly as much as you do. So again, I'm just gonna be saying stuff, but like,
he's not even tortured yet.
But like, this person comes in and they just want to like buy a weapon that they're gonna go adventuring with, and our character here is like kind of sizing them up because this is like their first thing or whatever. And throughout this experience of this like person shopping for a weapon, our character here is like, since he can see everything that's happening, he's giving out information about what that is, how to use it, all this other type of stuff. And maybe the other guy is being kind of snobby. Maybe he's like, I understand. But
I also get the impression from this character, like, the way I'd want to write him is he definitely knows what the fuck he's talking about.
He knows his shit.
Yeah.
And to
he knows
that,
his shit.
That you, in that detail of, I could be an adventurer if I want to, but I choose not to, and he chooses to
It's not what it's about, yeah.
He could literally demonstrate to this guy how to use his shit when this guy doesn't know jack shit about what this weapon is. He could literally use it exactly how it's intended to be used.
Yeah.
Which shows he has actual skill.
I love that. That would be okay. Yeah.
You see, it's this. This type of. We have to show it. We have to show it. Continue.
That's. Oh, I was just thinking. I just saw the scene in my head because I recently came across like a curved like blade. I went to the Star Trek store, and I saw the blades in the mall, and they're like these two like curved. And if you're a Star Trek fan, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But they're these two curved blades that are like this, and the handles are on the outside.
I don't know what this is.
I dabble.
No,
I dabble in Trek a little.
I'll show you eventually. But it was just this weapon, and I was like, if that was the weapon that this guy pulled off and like didn't know what to...
What?
Did anyone else hear anything?
No.
Okay, I'm crazy. Anyway.
Okay.
Might be night terrors again.
Pull off like this wall, like this weapon off this wall, and he just like went over to like a training dummy and just went like pa pa pa.
Yes.
Which he doesn't have at the beginning of his shop, but even so, like down the road is what we're thinking here.
Maybe you could just add that in for the story. For this specific moment.
Yeah.
Don't be like constrained to what you think your ideas are. If something works better for the story, fucking add it in there.
And then
yeah, where were we?
Oh yeah, his reputation grew quickly. Like I said, I think like it's a slow build at first. Like I think he does kind of struggle in this new environment that's building around him. But as like people come in and see that he's willing to just like barter instead of, I think that's going to be a big appeal. If I were looking at the logistics of the economy, and I have, because I've known this character for a long time. So his impact on the economy is fascinating, and it's something I would love to talk about, but like it's so hard.
Get there yet.
I know.
We have to establish base roots.
Dude, I've been thinking about the logistics of his impact on any goddamn, and it doesn't even make sense yet.
I know, but like, do you understand that? Fun. Listen, people, we want to set you on your fucking ass with this shit, okay? And we know we have big ideas for what this is.
Massive ideas for everything.
But we have to rein it back first.
Yeah.
We got to establish a base story before we can go with our even bigger ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have more? Because I think there was other stuff I was thinking about.
Luckily, he'd make friends that were with just the right people to keep him protected. The idea that he he gives the gear to these people who do become heroes.
Hold on.
Of a realm.
And now, this is where I was thinking, like, I think I'm thinking about the scene somewhere where he's, like, not just a lowly towns merchant, but he's, like, raising up a little bit, at gaining some sort of popularity.
Gavin, you want to hear something crazy?
Yes?
I've never thought about the before time for this character until the podcast.
The before time.
Because again, this is like the midpoint of the story. So after this is when the character I know becomes the character I know, is after this moment about the garden.
Really?
Yeah. Because that gives him the ability to be everything he is in my head.
Whoa.
Have you...
Okay. We got ran back.
I know. That's just for us. That's not... we don't want to keep that in.
I won't put that in.
Have you watched Arcane?
No.
There is this scene in Arcane, and it includes this character that you see in the very beginning of the series. The first episode opens on a bridge, and it's this, like, really spooky fucking music. It's a child singing, like a small child singing, but it's, like, kind of broken up because they're in the midst of this huge fucking fight going on between enforcers and the poor people. And,
as there is always.
Yes. And the character I'm talking about, he starts his journey off with a pair of huge fucking cast iron boxing gloves, kind of, but they're huge.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And, he's killing these enforcers. Like, he's mauling them.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, there's blood and all that shit. And he sees this young, like, preteen girl with red hair and her younger sister who has blue hair. She's tiny. Like, has to be held by her hand, still look tiny. And he just drops his cast iron thing to the floor, and, like, because he sees that the two girls, their parents are dead on the floor beside them.
Oh.
So he just drops everything, stops fighting in general, just takes them and goes back to his side of the bridge, back to the poor side. He just gives up the fight. And he is known as, like, the ruler, not the ruler, because it's not, like, he's respected by everyone what the fuck do they call it? I'm trying to think of their word for it, but for the poor
whatever
people,
their faction is.
Yeah, whatever their faction is. He's respected by everyone.
But there's not, like, a hierarchical system.
Not
that they go by.
Yeah, no. But he runs a bar. He, like, runs the bar and all this shit, and that's how he, like, keeps his connections and all that. They all know him from that fight and, like, what he did for their people. Because he also has a deal going on with an enforcer, by the way, who is not... She's morally gray. But,
spoilers for the show.
I was about to say another one, but it's fine.
Oh, God. I'm wondering how long this is going to be.
Yeah, I was wondering how it's connected.
I had to give the background, but in the bar, there's this scene where, kind of like this dude that's trying to barter some of his business. He's upper class, but he's trying to barter some of his business with these, like, they're like the deeper end of, like, the poor people. And they try to cheap him out of his deal. And the bartender comes around and he's like, so what's going on here? And they don't know he's the bartender or anything. Like, and the one lady's just like, beat it, old man, or whatever the fuck. And he is just like, a bit of advice, don't point your gun at the dude who pours the drinks. And everyone in the bar has stopped what they're doing and is just looking at them.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Yeah,
alright.
That's my tie-in.
Yeah, okay. That happens in a lot of things.
I know, but the way that it was done...
It happens in Hogwarts Legacy. I hate to spoil the game.
Yes, I know,
really
but I
early.
love Arcane so much. And the background to his character is very cool.
Like this evil goblin and this douchebag come into the bar and threaten your character and everybody. And then, like, the barmaid speaks up and everybody goes, put him down! Yeah, like, they're, like, pointing their wands, but they cast a Avada Kedavra, you know.
You just gotta watch Arcane do it, please. Please. I'm going insane by myself.
Can you continue the story?
Fucking fiend.
Oh, and then he becomes the most visited spot in his city.
Okay.
Eventually, like that's the build.
Yes.
Yeah. So and I guess like through this like small text here, it's kind of implied that there's a build up, but not really, because there's the idea he was lowly, and then now he's like the most visited spot. Like people are coming from out of town to visit this guy's shop because they don't know what he's offering.
Okay.
His impact on the fucking economy. What a monster.
I'm thinking of like, because you want to establish that he also cares
impact
about
on the
like,
economy
other
in
adventurers.
Arcane.
Yeah.
Like he cares about their journeys just as much, and and I just thought about the scene in which he does. This is past. I'm thinking about him before, like past Garden. Honestly, I thought that's what he was already, but then you told me no, that's not what he is.
No, that's what all this is.
Yeah. So I'm ready real back.
Right?
Yeah, I'm thinking like, so to establish that character trait, what if like as he's schooled this fucking like kid who tried to come into his like shop and try to go on an adventure when he knows nothing about adventuring, like what if as like he shows his prowess and his knowledge about like what it means to be an adventurer, and he sends this kid off, the people like some other people come into the shop, and it's these people who he really like cares about, and it's like these common customers he has and who he's like avidly been interacting with, and he's like, oh fuck, it's you guys, and it's established they have a relationship of some kind. I'm imagining like three guys.
Yeah.
But eventually the conversation topic just gets to like we're going after the garden. Like it's all played like casual at first to establish their norm, but then it comes to like the this character right here's attention that like no, like everything.
Dude, my head's going so many places.
They basically go like, no, your goal, what we started the story off talking about, like it bookends. It's like, no, like we're going after the garden this time, and we kind of get to see like that this really means something to this character, and like he starts probably to act a bit out of character of how he presented him at first.
Yeah, because at that point
that's big for him.
Yeah, he would be an adventurer for a minute. He would use that lifestyle to get to where he wanted to be.
But that's like act 1 of like a small ass story. And this character's act 1.
There's so much to this character.
I'm imagining from there you would tell the story of what happened after, of what his interaction was with these three people and what the garden was.
I mean,
see what I mean?
Logically, 2 things happen with this story if we're thinking about how usually stories go. And that is, 1, the guy he helped train tries to betray him. Maybe maybe they take him along, because I assume
I think he's going on this journey.
2,
this is his adventure.
Yeah, that 2, this already pre-established few characters that are protagonist loves.
Yes.
He goes with them.
Yes.
And this new character to go find this garden, and this new character who's just learning to adventure.
I see what you're saying. I wasn't even thinking about bringing the new character back. I thought you meant like there's 2 guys that this guy is familiar with, and then they have 1 extra that he doesn't know about, but he's like, well, if you guys trust him, I guess I trust him. But no, you're saying that new kid will come.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a group of 5 now. So there's the 3 guys he really cares about, our main character, and then the new guy. And then obviously, as the new guy always would and always does, he betrays the party. And the last one and the only one to actually make it to the garden will be our main character.
But since you just established that story, don't do that.
I know, I can't now.
I was say, what if you be evil and make one of his longest standing friends betray?
That's one of the best things I think a writer can do, is like, what's the obvious story here?
That's the obvious story.
Let's not do the obvious story.
Obviously not.
Obviously not.
Obviously not. It's obvious. You obviously can't use it.
Be evil, make long-standing friend, betray. And
no, he'll betray them all, is what'll happen.
I feel like that's overdone.
No. Because that's the thing. The way the rest of the character will be established won't portray that behavior at all. It'll be weird.
So
I'll set it up.
How are you going to tell this character's story from now on? Because I'm kind of trying to tell you to like rein it back.
Yeah.
Like this will come later. Like I don't know how many episodes we're gonna do of this, but I imagine it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, I would hope so.
So we're gonna have all the time.
Yeah.
The way to think about it is how I've been honestly trying to live my fucking life right now. Is like you'll have the time. The time is there to do it.
Yeah.
Like we can't rush through it because at that point it's gonna become the sloppy thing.
But if you do get one or two of these stories in a row, and you're mad about it, fuck you.
Don't be a dickhead.
But yeah, we have the time to tell the story. And so we can take the moments to look at those smaller scenes, those important scenes, to establish our characters.
Oh yeah.
And go, let's focus on this for one episode.
That would be so interesting if I wrote two of the same vision or viewing in the yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah, this is a lot for a lot of things. Hey, real quick, and you can cut this out too. But yeah, you know, I mean, there was a lot I want to tell with the story, but we have to get there.
We have to get there.
And there's so much. There's so much.
There's so much
Because
meat.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
The places this will go.
And it's the places that it does go that really excite me because that's the fun of it, you know.
Yeah.
That's when I can tell any story I want to.
Yes.
But I have to tell his story first.
Exactly.
It's like laying
Because
the
if you just get to
foundations in
there,
crochet.
It isn't satisfying.
Yeah. Because then you're like, well, how did this happen?
Exactly.
Look at me. You're doing your fucking chain right now.
No. Yeah.
Then you gotta stab your base stitch into
Well,
it.
in another rating note, I don't know if I want to go in chronological order all the time.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's definitely interesting to see the juxtaposition between a lot of the stories where they end and start and
Yeah. I
yeah
don't think you have to go chronological.
I don't. It'll be interesting to see you guys put it together chronologically.
I sound like a broken record, but I think that's why I fucking love my Priory of the Orange Tree book.
Oh,
It's not
really?
chronological.
No.
Fascinating.
Like, in some parts it is. It kind of bounces between because, like, you don't know if these events are happening, like, one after another or if they're happening simultaneously.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love that
You need to... I need you guys to read.
We're writing.
Read. Get
Although we
ideas.
should probably read. I think that would help with the writing process.
Yes.
Literally borrow my book.
I'm not good at reading.
I have
It's
too
fine.
much shit
It's
to do
not.
also.
It's not too big of words. It's just olden speak.
No, I mean like I'm not good at committing. It's not the fact that I mean don't get me wrong, I'm not good at reading. You guys see me struggle to read my own fucking stories.
That is also something you should work on.
I will.
Yeah, delivery. Really get into it.
What if you borrow for a chapter?
Well, and that's the struggle for me because
Yeah.
I don't know how to get into it in the third person where it's like I need to convey a tone when I'm supposed to be objective. Like I can convey the tone of something being like you know melancholy or like happy. Like I understand like some of the writing elements for those, but to really like when you say get into it, I think about the first story I told.
Yeah.
But because it was from that's why I could
It's
tell.
from the perspective.
Yeah, it was the first person perspective. I could really get into their emotion about
I think
what's going on.
When I say get into it, I want you to like, because it's something I noticed while also editing is that like it does feel like you just like read off the paper sometimes,
I do that all the time.
but like you should savor every sentence.
Okay.
Cause like I mean, think about a movie. If like actors just literally read off the script, movies would be awful. But it's the fact that like they literally get into the script.
I get what you're saying.
They feel the
Yeah.
emotions, and they go, how would this actually be said? And I'm not saying you have to
Well,
act.
I think-
I think you could take since you're just like getting this vision of like what is happening. You can take your time to give it that feeling of like what the fuck is going on here.
Unfortunately, I think part of my issue is that I'm not great at describing things.
But you could get better.
I know.
Read a thesaurus.
And as I do get better, I will be able to really drive home the delivery because I'll be able to stress on certain words that I want to emphasize.
What if I convince you to read the prequel and the first 5 actual chapters of the book.
I'd be very surprised. I think the only thing I foresee reading is some fucking smut book with my girlfriend, yeah.
I think that's what she's getting me for Christmas.
A smut book?
Yeah.
Probably 2 of them. I just know that she has 2 of them. I don't know if she's getting you anything.
Well, when we were out at the mall, she like eyeballed books. She's like, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas, and like books. And she's like, no. And I was like, you a little liar. I saw you staring at them.
Anyway.
I'm just excited. Because I know it's going to be great. I know it's going to be great. We're going to get to that point where it's
But we have to get there.
We got to get there, though.
Yeah. I'm excited for next week.
And you're reciting like this fucking story, like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Like my best reading in episode 2.
Shit.
All right, I don't know how we're tying this ending together. And remember, you can't barter for your soul.
But you can always pray for it. And weep.
I don't know if I like the pray.
Well, listen, we're going off the fucking hip here. All
Whoa,
right?
we can do it.
I wanted to roll with it.
I really did too, but she was too slow on it.
No, I just didn't like it.
I know.
I know, but that was part of the.
Yeah, that was but this is really
improv.
uncomfortable. It's not.
This is a Norm Macdonald.
I didn't know we were doing fucking improv.
What is this show?
Yeah, what the hell? That's what I've been doing the entire time.
Oh, I write shit down. Sorry.
Listen,
My papers are blank.
Most of this podcast is not the written material, except for his.
Yeah.
Even then.
I think
Mine's my written material.
But we ranted about Yu-Gi-Oh!
And remember, you can't buy your soul.
But you could always barter for it.
And we've been
The Spectruminal Trinity.